14-year-old R&B sensation, don't say nothing.
Hey, just the things you do makes me so dang glad that I found you.
Rodriguez Jacquees Broadnax, or simply Jacquees, born April 15th, 1994. Today's feature is an artist that's made headlines for once declaring himself the king of R&B, and many of his fans champion the idea and his confidence, while detractors felt confused as to what in his catalog or achievements could make him say such a thing. Nevertheless, the statement created some big shoes to fill for Jacquees to show and prove now that the spotlight was on him. But since then, his career has taken a negative turn in terms of album sales and being received by the R&B audience like he was early on, playing the role of the young, likable kid singing about adult activities and using his charm to propel his music career and take advantage of the internet age where stars can get their big break through their presence online. Things began to change, so much so that many are saying Jacquees has fallen off. In June 2018, he released his debut album called 4275 to much success with his singles B.E.D, Inside, and You, placing highly on the charts and amassing millions of views on YouTube and even more on streaming services. You being his highest charting Billboard song, reaching number 58 and going 2 times platinum. The album overall went gold, marking a great start to Jacquees' career and future in the music industry under the legendary Cash Money Records. The label added Jacquees to its roster in 2014 after label owner Birdman took to the young Jacquees for his talent, of course, but his look and also energy, drawing a close liking to his former label superstar Lil Wayne. Immediately, comparisons began to fly and expectations for Jacquees rose and continued to after his many remixes to prior classics and popular songs like Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana, Ella Mai's Trip, and Soul for Real's Candy Rain, even lending his rendition to Donny Hathaway's This Christmas. The remixes went viral, none more than his version of Ella Mai's Trip that caused some controversy, with the singer herself voicing her displeasure, feeling remixes, especially so close together in time, hurts the potential of the original song, and her label threatened legal action, leading to Jacquees removing the remix from being monetized on his YouTube channel. Since his debut album went gold, Jacquees has released 2 albums and they both sold much less than the one before, King of R&B selling 16,000 copies first week, and his 2022 release Sincerely For You not even cracking the top 100. He hasn't released an album since, as fans await Jacquees to finally walk his statements like he talks them. He's supposed to carry R&B for his generation, but for these reasons, that didn't happen. What did? Let's talk about it. Salute to Stevie Wadley for this request. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Jacquees is a singer from Decatur, Georgia that knew he wanted to pursue music since 9 years old. Inspired by movies like The Jacksons and American Dream and The Temptations, Jacquees envisioned himself a star in the same way. All throughout school, he participated in talent shows and would usually take home first prize, leading to meeting his manager Orlando Grind in 2007, who later introduced him to Russell Spencer and Block Entertainment. In the meantime, between then and his career taking off, Jacquees released a plethora of mixtapes, but still wasn't getting the attention even from his label he wanted to. He continued to work and make connections until in 2014 he signed with Cash Money Records, who he says allowed him to creatively be himself. It took another 4 years before his debut studio album released, making him feel he was finally in the game. Stunt number 1, remixes controversy. Artists since forever have been using the strategy of taking a song that was already deemed popular before them and somehow incorporating pieces of it in their own music, and some, specifically in the internet era, record themselves covering entire songs word for word, bar for bar. This is a tricky strategy because on one hand, if done right, it can transfer the energy from the song's success onto the new artist by fans of that song feeling the nostalgia of hearing it again, and doing it well can mean the artist gains themselves a new fan. But done wrong, which can be because of a number of elements like not adding to it personally that can be championed by your fans, bad timing where the original is still hot, not doing a good job vocally, giving indication that fans might as well listen to the original artist, thus backfiring and giving your fans away. Those and more can be at risk when remixing, and Jacquees saw some of those firsthand when fans were angry at his remix for Donny Hathaway's This Christmas for it not being sung correctly, and also his version of LMA's Trip, where the artist herself had to come out and denounce the remix of the song for actually hurting the promotion of the original. Whether it's better or not, remixing can be very tricky and is supposed to only be used for non-monetary promotion of the artist. One fan became so upset at Jacquees that in 2018 they started a petition with the title "Ban Jacquees from doing any music covers." The petition hoped to get 10,000 signatures and raise enough awareness that maybe Jacquees sees it himself and drops the remixing act. Over 11,000 signatures were submitted, almost as much as his second album's first week sales, showing fans weren't too keen on his remixing of other artists' hit songs, and it made him less enduring to his target audience. Some of this was reflected in the lead up to his second album. Stunt number 2, saying he's the king of R&B.
I just want to let everybody know that I'm the king of R&B right now, for this generation. I understand who done came and who done did that and that and that, but now it's my turn. Jacquees, the king of R&B. I just heard him say it, and I've been feeling like that. ATL, let's get it. I'm the new king of R&B.
In Jacquees' era, the internet plays a huge role in the success of an artist, whether they like it or participate in its politics or not. The fact of the matter is that music fans have moved on from physically supporting albums or an artist outside of going to see them live, when they can get as much of them on a daily basis on the internet and social media. Between YouTube and places like Instagram, X, and blog sites, fans can know everything they want about an artist, seeing them anytime they want with the ability now at their fingertips. With that said, perception is everything on the internet, and Jacquees took a huge blow with the comments he made on Instagram in December 2018 about being the king of R&B for his generation. Apparently, he had just got done with a live show, and while transiting to his next destination, he heard a radio DJ that saw his show call him the king of R&B with fans from 16 to 25. Jacquees felt inspired to let the public know, and that statement, like his remixing, backfired and caused the internet to turn against him. Every publication picked up the story, and everyone from radio hosts to podcasts, R&B singers, and even rappers as big as Snoop Dogg threw their 2 cents in, with the consensus being Jacquees was far off in his estimation of himself, his talents, and his career arc so far. Personally, I think there's so much that goes into calling yourself the king of R&B, even if it's just your confidence. First of all, to be king, your talent has to be evident, and in that case, Jacquees has yet to show himself to be a prolific writer that can write multiple chart-topping hit songs, at least one. He's yet to find that. You then have to have a body of work that stands above everything else, and in the 2010s, which I think is Jacquees' real era, even the 2020s, artists like The Weeknd, Miguel, Bruno Mars, if he gets the R&B pass, not to mention Trey Songz and Chris Brown, who is still the hottest male R&B artist in the game from the 2010s to today, have much to say about that claim. He was flamed online for even saying this, although it gave him the light he needed to at least prove it. Many tuned in to see if he even has a chance, and that drove his streams and relevance, but in the end turned a lot of fans against him. Stunt number 3, quality music output. Jacquees is no doubt a hard worker, releasing over 10 mixtapes and EPs since 2011, along with 3 studio albums, and they've all done their thing in keeping his core audience supplied enough he can be a name in male R&B. But I wouldn't say they did anything to change the game in any way, which also lends to the idea that he can't possibly be king of R&B. Which also lends to the idea that he can't possibly be king of R&B when he doesn't have an R&B work that could be considered a generational piece. He doesn't even have a generational moment in hip-hop where we knew for that moment he was on top of the game. Maybe it's the bubble he's surrounded in, but as viewed by the masses, something of the sorts has yet to come. He hasn't put out an album since 2022, an EP since 2019, and a mixtape January 2024 that came and went. His latest single came in 2022 as well, showing he's either being patient with his growth or isn't in the mindset of producing quality music he can release to the public at the moment. It could be that he and his label are waiting for that right song and moment to redeem Jacquees from the lackluster albums back-to-back he's put out that didn't do much to improve his standings as an R&B artist. Either way, the longer he takes, the more the narrative will be that he fell off, and it's difficult to get those fans back after they find ways to move on, all while you become older and fall out of that target audience you were used to. Jacquees is 30 years old now, just about out of that 16 to 25 appeal as his next release becomes that more important. All in all, Jacquees still has a solid fan base he can survive off music, and he does have the talent to possibly create his own major hit at some point. But as of now, for these reasons, his growth is being stunted. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.